Welcome to today's video. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this reverse decoupage Christmas ornament. And the paper that I'm using is one that I printed, and it's actually a print of a photograph of the little Vermont village that I live in, and it's the church, the 1700s church, and it's just kind of a special little ornament that I am making for some friends in town. So the first thing you do for reverse decoupage is I am putting on some Pentart decoupage glue and varnish, and you put the face of your photo right on top of the back, and that way you can see right through it. And I have cut little clips all along the edges of my decoupage paper, and that is so that I can kind of overlap them. The small wrinkles are fine, but I'm trying to get rid of the big wrinkles. And I just go around and just add a little bit more decoupage medium and overlap that little bit there. I am using a Pentart decoupage medium. It is, I think this is a Silky Shine, and is decoupage glue and varnish. And I really want to make sure that this paper is down. So I go over it several times. I keep checking to make sure the paper is down. And there it looks like it's totally down. So I am then just going to put a couple more spots that I think might be coming up. Trim that little bit there. And then it's time to seal that whole back part in. And once it's all sealed, we're going to let it dry. And as you could see, some of the dark coloring is coming through, and I was a little worried about when I made this, and actually I printed this on rice paper, which I get at Amazon, and I was worried that that black would smudge, but it did not smudge at all. So once that decoupage sealing glue is varnish is dried, then I paint the back of it with either white or off-white, and right now I'm using off-white. And what that will do is that will make it so that you could see the image inside a little more clearly, but it will also make it that when we put the image on the back, there will not be bleed through. You won't see it through. Both images will be quite clear. And let it dry. I really have to let it dry in between every step. So you do get a little bit of glue sometimes on the front, and I've been using the Goo Gone to get it off, and then I use some Windex to clean up the Goo Gone. It's really hard not to get anything on that clear plastic of the front when you're using all these mediums. So now I added another layer of decoupage medium, the varnishing glue, and again I've clipped the sides. And one of the reasons I really make all those little clips is I don't want my design to be distorted. I want you really to be able to see that it's a really old church building in a little Vermont village. And also I have Merry Christmas written on there, and I want that to be legible. I do cut off the top to have it be shaped around the little holder that holds the little hook in there. And I have not had any trouble with ripping on any of these ornaments that I've made by making my own rice paper. and no bleeding at all of that black ink. In the past, the only time I've had bleeding is when I use a lot of black, and there was no bleeding at all with this black ink. So I was real happy about that. And this is an old photograph. It's probably more than 50 years old. So it is a little bit, it's kind of a little bit, it definitely looks like a vintage photo. So the next step is I want to add a trim around the edges of my ornament. And one of the reasons I want to add it, I want to add a little more design to it, but I also want to cover up the mechanics, the place where the two papers met, or the paint and the paper met, and it would need some finishing. So I am using a Decoupage Queen mold. It's the trims mold, and I am using Jovi white, which is it's kind of an off-white clay. And the reason I love this mold is it really looks like little wooden balls when it's done. Those little wooden balls that people use on ornaments. It very much looks like that when it's done. I love the Jovi clay, but it does stick to your fingers, so I do wear gloves when I am using it. But I have very little cracking with this clay. It is a paper clay. And like I said, this is a Decoupage Queen mold. I would normally have put cornstarch in this mold, but it already had quite a bit of cornstarch in it, so that's why I didn't put cornstarch in. But see how it looks like all little round wooden balls? It's a little tricky to get it out. You just bend it back and it pops out. Now I want to put this all around the edge of this design. And I'm not really worried that it's exactly on the halfway point. I just want to cover up the edge of the paper. So I am using decoupage. Actually, I am using decoupage. It's Pentart heavy body gel. And I'm trying to put on the smallest amount that I possibly can to glue that trimming down. I do not want any mediums leaking out. It's kind of tricky to get them cleaned up when you have a project like this. So I put most of the heavy body gel on and then picked up the trim and put it on. And then just finished it. And I still need a little, so what I'm going to do is I am just going to cast what I need, which is I think 3 or 4 of the little segments. And again, still quite a bit of cornstarch in that mold, so I am not going to put more cornstarch in it. And I totally don't need that much. And I'm going to cut that rest excess off. Really press those together so it looks like it's one continuous beaded trim. And now I am going to let this dry before I add a little bit of Christmas glitter. So what I am using, and I'm getting really close up, I am using a Pentarts glitter pen, and I'm kind of just doing a squiggly circle around each little ball there, and because I want a little bit of the white to show through, I don't want it to be totally covered. I just want it to have some glitter on it and make it more festive, more like Christmas. And once I'm done with the front side, I do the back side, and finally I add a ribbon to hang it up. And there you have it, our Christmas ornament, which is reverse decoupage and a little picture of of an antique Vermont village. Merry Christmas, everyone.